Hello and welcome to this special journey of self-discovery and growth. I'm so glad you've joined me here today in the Mindful Zone. If you're tuning in for the first time or a returning viewer, thank you for being part of this community dedicated to exploring ways we can live more mindfully, peacefully, and productively. Today we're going to dive deep into how meditation, mindfulness, and the timeless wisdom of Buddhism can transform your work life, boost your productivity, and bring more peace into your everyday existence. Whether you're new to these concepts, or perhaps already familiar but looking for deeper insights, this video is designed to guide you gently toward a calmer, more focused way of being. So grab a cup of tea, find a comfortable spot, and let's begin. In our fast-paced world, multitasking has become the norm, stress feels unavoidable, and burnout lurks around every corner. Many of us juggle endless responsibilities at work, at home, and within ourselves, and it often feels like there just aren't enough hours in the day. But what if I told you that small, intentional practices could help us reconnect with ourselves, enhance our focus, and create space for joy even amidst chaos? That's exactly what we'll uncover together today. Meditation, mindfulness, and Buddhist teachings offer practical tools that anyone can integrate into their daily routine. These practices aren't about escaping reality, they're about engaging with it fully, moment by moment, with clarity and compassion. And when applied to the workplace, they can radically shift how we approach tasks, manage stress, and interact with others. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't about becoming some kind of Zen master overnight. It's about making tiny shifts that add up over time. You don't need to sit cross-legged for hours or completely overhaul your lifestyle. Instead, we'll explore simple techniques that fit seamlessly into your existing schedule, even during the busiest days. Throughout this 2-hour exploration, we'll cover 10 chapters, each focusing on a different aspect of how mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles can support you in improving your productivity and overall well-being. From understanding stress and its impact on performance to cultivating focus, overcoming procrastination, and building sustainable habits, we'll leave no stone unturned. I encourage you to treat this not just as a passive viewing experience, but as an interactive one. Pause whenever you feel called to reflect or practice something we discuss. Take notes if it helps solidify the ideas. And most importantly, give yourself permission to breathe deeply and relax as we move through this content together. By the end of this session, my hope is that you'll walk away with actionable strategies to implement immediately, along with a renewed sense of possibility for what your work life and your life in general can look like. This isn't just about ticking boxes or getting more done, it's about creating a foundation of presence, calm, and intentionality that supports everything else you do. So once again, thank you for joining me in the Mindful Zone. Let's take a collective deep breath together. Inhale and exhale. And now let's embark on this transformative journey. Ahead, you'll find 10 carefully crafted chapters designed to guide you step by step. Are you ready? Let's begin. Chapter 1: Understanding Stress and its Impact on Productivity. Let's start by diving deep into one of the most pervasive challenges we all face in our modern lives: stress. Stress is something that affects nearly everyone, regardless of their profession, age, or background. It's a universal experience, yet it's also deeply personal. The way stress manifests for you might look different from how it shows up for someone else, but its effects are equally significant. Today we're going to explore what stress really is, why it happens, how it impacts your productivity, and most importantly, how mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles can help you manage it effectively. Stress is essentially your body's response to any demand placed upon it. When you encounter a challenge, whether it's an overflowing inbox, a tight deadline, or even interpersonal conflict at work, your brain triggers a cascade of physiological reactions. Your heart rate increases, your breathing quickens, and your muscles tense up. This is known as the fight or flight response, an evolutionary mechanism designed to protect us from immediate danger. Thousands of years ago, this response was crucial for survival. If you encountered a predator in the wild, your body needed to prepare you to either confront the threat or flee from it. But here's the problem. While this response was incredibly useful for our ancestors, it's not always helpful in the context of modern life. In today's world, the threats we face aren't usually physical, they're mental and emotional. Instead of running from a lion, we're dealing with things like demanding bosses, endless emails, and looming deadlines. And because these stresses are constant and ongoing, our bodies often remain in a state of heightened alertness. Over time, this chronic stress takes a toll on both our physical health and our ability to function effectively. When you're stressed, your mind becomes cluttered with racing thoughts. You might find yourself worrying about the future, replaying past mistakes, or feeling overwhelmed by everything you need to accomplish. This mental chaos makes it incredibly difficult to focus. Imagine trying to read a book while someone is loudly playing music in the background. It's almost impossible to concentrate. That's what stress does to your brain. It creates noise and distraction, making it hard to think clearly or perform tasks efficiently. Not only does stress impair your cognitive abilities, but it also affects your emotional well-being. Chronic stress can lead to feelings of frustration, irritability, and even burnout. Burnout, in particular, is a growing concern in workplaces around the world. It's characterized by exhaustion, cynicism, and a sense of reduced accomplishment. When you're burned out, even simple tasks feel insurmountable and motivation plummets. This creates a vicious cycle where stress leads to decreased productivity, which then leads to more stress. So, if stress has such negative consequences, why do we let it take over our lives? One reason is that many of us have been conditioned to believe that stress is just part of the deal, that if we want to succeed, we have to push through it. We glorify busyness and wear our stress like badges of honor, as though being overwhelmed is proof that we're working hard enough. But the truth is, stress doesn't make us more productive. It actually does the opposite. Research shows that prolonged exposure to stress hormones like cortisol can damage the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. This means that when you're chronically stressed, your ability to retain information, solve problems, and make decisions is compromised. Another reason we struggle with stress is that we often lack effective tools to manage it. Many people turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms like overeating, excessive screen time, or numbing themselves with distractions. While these strategies may provide temporary relief, they don't address the root cause of the issue. What we need instead are sustainable practices that help us regulate our nervous systems and cultivate resilience. And that's where mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist teachings come in. Mindfulness at its core is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about becoming aware of what's happening right now, both internally and externally, and accepting it fully. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to notice patterns in your thoughts and behaviors. For example, you might realize that every time you receive an email notification, you automatically drop what you're doing to check it. Or you might notice that certain situations trigger feelings of anxiety or frustration. By bringing awareness to these patterns, you gain the power to change them. Meditation complements mindfulness by giving you a dedicated space to train your mind. Through regular meditation, you can develop greater focus, clarity, and emotional stability. Think of meditation as exercise for your brain. Just as physical exercise strengthens your muscles, meditation strengthens your ability to stay calm and centered under pressure. It teaches you how to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. So instead of reacting impulsively to stress, you learn to pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully. Buddhism offers additional insights that align beautifully with mindfulness and meditation. One key teaching is impermanence, the idea that everything changes. When applied to work, this perspective helps us let go of perfectionism and embrace progress instead. Often we get stuck in cycles of self-criticism because we expect ourselves to be flawless. But when we remember that nothing stays the same, including our failures, we can approach challenges with more patience and compassion. Another powerful concept from Buddhism is equanimity, or the ability to remain calm and balanced in the face of adversity. Equanimity doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. Rather, it means acknowledging them without letting them control you. For instance, if you receive critical feedback from a colleague, you can acknowledge your initial reaction of defensiveness or hurt without allowing it to derail your day. This kind of emotional regulation is essential for maintaining productivity and well-being in high-pressure environments. Now let's talk about some practical ways you can reduce stress using these principles. First and foremost, start by tuning into your breath. Breathing is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools we have for managing stress. When you feel overwhelmed, take a moment to close your eyes and focus on your inhales and exhales. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Allow each breath to anchor you in the present moment. Even just a few deep breaths can activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps counteract the effects of stress. Another technique is body scanning. This involves systematically bringing your attention to different parts of your body, starting from your toes and working your way up to the top of your head. As you scan, notice any areas of tension or discomfort. Simply observing these sensations without judgment can help release stored stress. Body scans are especially useful during breaks at work, as they allow you to reset physically and mentally. You can also incorporate mindfulness into everyday activities. For example, when you eat lunch, savor each bite. Notice the flavors, textures, and aromas of your food. Eating mindfully not only enhances your enjoyment, but also gives your brain a chance to rest and recharge. Similarly, when you walk, pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground. Feel the rhythm of your steps and the movement of your body. These small acts of presence add up over time, helping you build a stronger connection to the here and now. Lastly, consider setting boundaries to protect your energy. Many of us feel stressed because we say yes to too many things. Practice saying no to commitments that don't align with your priorities. Create clear limits around your work hours and stick to them. Protecting your time allows you to focus on what truly matters, reducing unnecessary stress. In summary, stress is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to dominate your existence. By understanding its causes and effects, and by incorporating mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist teachings into your routine, you can reclaim control over your mind and body. These practices won't eliminate stress entirely, that's unrealistic, but they will give you the tools to navigate it with grace and resilience. As we move forward into the next chapters, we'll delve deeper into specific techniques and strategies to help you integrate these principles into your daily life. Stay curious, stay open, and trust that transformation is possible, one mindful step at a time. Chapter 2: The Basics of Meditation for Beginners. Meditation is often seen as something mystical or complicated, but the truth is, it's one of the simplest and most accessible tools you can use to improve your mental clarity, emotional well-being, and overall productivity. In this chapter, we're going to demystify meditation and break it down into manageable steps, so that even if you've never meditated before, or if you've tried but felt unsure about how to proceed, you'll leave with a clear understanding of what meditation is, how it works, and how to incorporate it into your daily life. At its core, meditation is simply the practice of training your mind to focus and redirect your thoughts. It's not about stopping your thoughts altogether, that's nearly impossible, but rather learning to observe them without getting swept away by them. Think of your mind as a river. Sometimes the water flows calmly and smoothly, while other times it becomes turbulent and chaotic. Meditation teaches you how to sit on the riverbank, watching the water flow past, without jumping in and getting carried away by the current. One common misconception about meditation is that it requires special equipment, a perfect environment, or hours of uninterrupted time. None of that is true. While having a quiet space can certainly help, meditation can be practiced anywhere, at your desk, on public transport, or even during a busy workday. All you need is a willingness to try in a few minutes to dedicate to yourself. Over time, these small moments of stillness add up, creating profound shifts in how you think, feel, and respond to challenges. Let's start by exploring some foundational principles of meditation. The first principle is presence. Presence means being fully engaged in the current moment, whether you're meditating or going about your daily activities. When you're present, you're not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. You're simply here now. This might sound easy, but in reality, our minds are constantly wandering. Studies show that we spend nearly half of our waking hours lost in thought, much of which involves ruminating on things beyond our control. Meditation helps us reclaim our attention and bring it back to the present moment. The second principle is non-judgmental awareness. During meditation, you'll inevitably notice thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations arising. Instead of labeling them as good or bad, simply acknowledge their presence and let them pass by, like clouds drifting across the sky. This attitude of non-judgment is crucial because it allows you to cultivate self-compassion and patience. Many people give up on meditation early on because they feel frustrated when their minds wander. But remember, the wandering itself isn't the problem. It's how you respond to it that matters. Each time you gently guide your attention back to your focal point, whether it's your breath, a mantra, or a visualization, you're strengthening your ability to concentrate and remain calm under pressure. Now let's talk about the mechanics of meditation. There are countless styles of meditation, each with its own unique approach and benefits. For beginners, I recommend starting with mindfulness meditation, as it's straightforward and highly effective. Mindfulness meditation typically involves focusing on your breath, observing your thoughts and feelings, and returning your attention to your breath whenever your mind wanders. Here's a step-by-step guide to help you get started. Find a comfortable position. You don't need to sit cross-legged on the floor unless that feels natural to you. You can sit in a chair, with your feet flat on the ground, lie down, or even stand. The key is to find a posture that feels stable yet relaxed. Keep your spine straight but not rigid, and rest your hands lightly on your lap or knees. Close your eyes, optional. Closing your eyes can help minimize distractions, but if you prefer to keep them open, soften your gaze and direct it slightly downward. Experiment with both options to see what works best for you. Focus on your breath. Begin by taking a few deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Then, allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. Pay close attention to the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, or the expansion and contraction of your abdomen. Use your breath as an anchor to keep you grounded in the present moment. Notice when your mind wanders. As you focus on your breath, you'll likely notice thoughts popping into your mind. These could be anything from memories and plans to random musings and judgments. When this happens, and it will happen, don't criticize yourself. Simply acknowledge the thought, then gently bring your attention back to your breath. This process of noticing and returning is the heart of meditation. Be patient and consistent. Like any skill, meditation improves with practice. At first, your sessions may feel awkward or unproductive, but over time you'll begin to notice subtle changes in your mood, focus, and resilience. Start with just 2 to 5 minutes a day, gradually increasing the duration as you become more comfortable. Beyond mindfulness meditation, there are other techniques you might explore as you deepen your practice. Loving-kindness meditation, for example, involves cultivating feelings of compassion and goodwill toward yourself and others. To practice, silently repeat phrases such as, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I be at peace," and then extend those wishes to loved ones, acquaintances, and eventually all beings. This practice can foster a greater sense of connection and empathy, which is invaluable in both personal and professional relationships. Another style worth mentioning is body scan meditation, which we touched on briefly in the previous chapter. In this technique, you systematically bring your attention to different parts of your body, starting from your toes and moving upward. As you scan, notice any areas of tension or discomfort, and imagine sending warmth or relaxation to those spots. Body scans are particularly effective for releasing physical stress and promoting restful sleep. While formal meditation practices are incredibly beneficial, you can also infuse mindfulness into your daily routines. For instance, when brushing your teeth, pay attention to the taste of the toothpaste, the sound of the bristles against your teeth, and the sensation of movement in your hand. Similarly, when washing your hands, notice the temperature of the water, the scent of the soap, and the feeling of cleanliness. These micro moments of mindfulness help reinforce the habit of staying present throughout the day. Now, let's address a common concern among beginners. What if I'm doing it wrong? The beauty of meditation is that there's no single right way to do it. Every session is an opportunity to learn and grow, regardless of how successful it feels. Some days, you might find it easy to stay focused, while other days, your mind might feel restless and scattered. Both experiences are valuable because they teach you to observe your inner landscape without attachment or aversion. If you're struggling to maintain consistency, consider setting aside a specific time each day for meditation. Mornings are ideal because they set a positive tone for the rest of the day, but evenings can also work well for winding down. Find a time that aligns with your schedule and stick to it as closely as possible. Creating a ritual around meditation, such as lighting a candle, playing soft music, or using a dedicated cushion, can make the practice feel more inviting and sacred. For those who enjoy structure, guided meditations can be a helpful resource. Apps like Headspace Calm or Insight Timer offer a wide range of recordings tailored to various needs, from reducing anxiety to boosting creativity. Listening to a soothing voice guide you through the process can make meditation feel less intimidating and more enjoyable. It's also important to recognize that meditation doesn't have to look the same every day. On some days, you might crave silence and solitude, while on others, you might benefit from incorporating gentle movement, such as yoga or Tai Chi. Don't be afraid to experiment and adapt your practice to suit your changing needs. Finally, let's discuss the science behind meditation and why it's so powerful. Numerous studies have shown that regular meditation can lead to measurable improvements in brain function, including increased grey matter density in regions associated with memory, learning, and emotional regulation. It has also been linked to reduced symptoms of anxiety, depression, and chronic pain. In terms of workplace productivity, meditation enhances focus, decision-making, and problem-solving skills, all of which are essential for success in today's fast-paced world. In conclusion, meditation is a versatile and transformative practice that anyone can embrace, regardless of their background or experience level. By dedicating just a few minutes each day to sitting quietly and observing your breath, you can cultivate greater awareness, resilience, and peace. As we move forward into the next chapters, we'll explore additional techniques and insights inspired by Buddhist teachings and mindfulness practices that will further enrich your journey. Remember, meditation isn't about achieving perfection. It's about showing up again and again with kindness and curiosity. So take a deep breath, trust the process, and know that every moment of stillness brings you closer to the person you want to be. Chapter 3: The Role of Buddhism in Modern Life. Buddhism, with its rich history and profound teachings, offers timeless wisdom that can profoundly impact how we navigate the complexities of modern life. While it originated over 2,500 years ago, its principles remain strikingly relevant today, especially when applied to our work lives and daily routines. In this chapter, we'll explore some of the core tenets of Buddhism and how they can help you cultivate greater clarity, compassion, and resilience, qualities that are essential for thriving in today's fast-paced world. At the heart of Buddhism is the Four Noble Truths, which provide a framework for understanding suffering and finding liberation from it. These truths might initially seem abstract or philosophical, but they hold practical insights that can be directly applied to your everyday experiences. Let's break them down one by one. The truth of suffering, dukkha. This truth acknowledges that suffering or dissatisfaction is an inherent part of human existence. Whether it's stress at work, relationship challenges, or unmet expectations, life inevitably presents us with difficulties. However, recognizing this reality isn't meant to make us pessimistic. Rather, it empowers us to face these challenges with honesty and courage. By accepting that suffering is unavoidable, we stop resisting it and instead focus on how we can respond skillfully. The truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. According to Buddhism, the root cause of suffering lies in attachment, craving, and ignorance. We cling to things, whether they're material possessions, relationships, or outcomes, believing they will bring us lasting happiness. Yet because everything is impermanent, this attachment ultimately leads to disappointment. For example, you might pour all your energy into landing a promotion only to feel empty once you achieve it. Understanding this dynamic allows us to let go of unrealistic expectations and find contentment in the present moment. The truth of the end of suffering, nirodha. The third truth teaches that it's possible to transcend suffering by letting go of attachment and cultivating inner peace. This doesn't mean renouncing ambition or avoiding responsibilities. It means approaching them with a sense of balance and perspective. When you release the need to control every outcome, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and open up space for creativity and joy. The truth of the path leading to the end of suffering, magga. Finally, the fourth truth outlines the Eightfold Path, a guide to ethical living, mental discipline, and wisdom. Each step on this path, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, offers practical advice for leading a harmonious and fulfilling life. We'll delve deeper into specific aspects of the Eightfold Path later, but for now, know that it serves as a roadmap for personal growth and transformation. One of the most powerful concepts in Buddhism is impermanence, or anicca. Impermanence reminds us that nothing lasts forever, not our successes, failures, emotions, or circumstances. At first glance, this idea might seem disheartening, but it actually carries immense freedom. When you embrace impermanence, you stop clinging to fleeting moments and start appreciating the beauty of change. For instance, if you receive critical feedback at work, instead of taking it personally, you can see it as an opportunity for growth. Similarly, when a project ends, you can celebrate its completion without mourning its passing. Impermanence also encourages us to prioritize what truly matters. In a culture obsessed with productivity and achievement, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. We chase after promotions, accolades, and external validation, often at the expense of our well-being. But when you internalize the fact that everything is temporary, including your career, you begin to ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? How do I want to spend my time while I'm here? These questions shift your focus from short-term gains to long-term fulfillment. Another cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy is compassion, both for others and for ourselves. Compassion is not just a moral ideal, it's a practice that has tangible benefits for our mental health and relationships. Research shows that acts of kindness activate the brain's reward centers, boosting happiness and reducing stress. Moreover, self-compassion, the ability to treat yourself with kindness during difficult times, has been linked to increased resilience and emotional stability. In the workplace, compassion manifests in how we interact with colleagues, clients, and even competitors. Instead of viewing others as obstacles or rivals, we can approach them with curiosity and empathy. For example, if a team member misses a deadline, rather than reacting with frustration, you might consider what challenges they're facing and offer support. This not only fosters collaboration, but also creates a more positive and productive environment. Self-compassion, on the other hand, involves recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, including you. Too often, we're our own harshest critics, berating ourselves for perceived shortcomings and dwelling on regrets. Buddhist teachings remind us that self-criticism only perpetuates suffering, whereas self-compassion opens the door to healing and growth. To practice self-compassion, try speaking to yourself as you would to a close friend. If you mess up at work, instead of spiraling into self-blame, acknowledge your humanity and commit to doing better next time. Mindfulness, which we've discussed extensively in earlier chapters, is another key aspect of Buddhist practice. Mindfulness meditation originated within the Buddhist tradition and continues to serve as a foundation for many contemporary approaches to mental health and well-being. By training your mind to stay present, you develop greater awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, enabling you to make conscious choices rather than reacting impulsively. The concept of equanimity, or upekkha, is closely tied to mindfulness. Equanimity refers to maintaining a calm and balanced state of mind, regardless of external circumstances. It's about neither clinging to pleasant experiences nor resisting unpleasant ones. For instance, if you land a major client, you can rejoice in the accomplishment without becoming overly attached to the outcome. Conversely, if a deal falls through, you can acknowledge your disappointment without letting it consume you. Equanimity allows you to ride the waves of life with grace and composure, qualities that are invaluable in high-pressure environments. Buddhist teachings also emphasize the importance of ethical conduct, particularly in relation to speech and action. Right speech, one of the steps on the Eightfold Path, encourages us to communicate truthfully, kindly, and constructively. In the workplace, this means avoiding gossip, harsh criticism, and manipulative language. Instead, strive to speak with integrity and empathy, fostering trust and mutual respect. Likewise, right action calls us to act with integrity, ensuring that our decisions align with our values and contribute to the greater good. Living ethically extends beyond individual behavior. It influences the systems and structures we participate in. Right livelihood, another component of the Eightfold Path, invites us to reflect on whether our work contributes positively to society. Are you using your skills and talents to uplift others, or are you perpetuating harm? Of course, no job is perfect, but asking these questions helps ensure that your efforts are aligned with your higher purpose. Finally, Buddhism teaches the value of simplicity and non-attachment. In a consumer-driven world where success is often measured by wealth and possessions, simplicity offers a refreshing alternative. By simplifying your life, whether it's decluttering your workspace, streamlining your schedule, or reducing digital distractions, you create more room for what truly matters. Non-attachment, meanwhile, frees you from the constant pursuit of more. Instead of chasing external validation, you learn to find satisfaction in the journey itself. So, how can you integrate these Buddhist principles into your daily life? Here are a few practical suggestions. Cultivate gratitude. Each day, take a few moments to reflect on what you're grateful for. This could be something as simple as a supportive colleague or a beautiful sunset. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, helping you appreciate the richness of the present moment. Practice loving-kindness. Meditation. As mentioned earlier, loving-kindness meditation involves sending goodwill to yourself and others. Regularly practicing this technique can enhance your capacity for empathy and connection, making you a more compassionate leader and teammate. Set ethical intentions. Before starting your day, set an intention to act with integrity and kindness. Remind yourself that your words and actions have ripple effects, influencing those around you in ways you may not immediately see. Embrace change. Whenever you encounter setbacks or transitions, remind yourself of impermanence. Trust that difficult times will pass and look for opportunities to grow and adapt. Simplify your environment. Clear out unnecessary clutter from your workspace and digital devices. A clean, organized environment promotes clarity and focus, allowing you to work more efficiently. By incorporating these practices into your routine, you'll begin to notice subtle yet significant changes in your mindset and behavior. You'll approach challenges with greater equanimity, treat yourself and others with more compassion, and align your actions with your deepest values. Over time, these shifts will not only improve your productivity, but also enrich your overall quality of life. In summary, Buddhism provides a treasure trove of wisdom that can guide us toward a more mindful, meaningful, and balanced existence. Its teachings encourage us to confront suffering with courage, embrace change with openness, and cultivate compassion in all our interactions. As we continue exploring the intersection of mindfulness, meditation, and productivity in the upcoming chapters, keep these principles in mind. They aren't just philosophical ideas, they're practical tools that can transform how you show up in the world. Remember, the journey towards greater awareness and fulfillment begins with small, consistent steps. So take a deep breath, stay curious, and trust that each moment holds the potential for growth and discovery. Chapter 4: Mindfulness Techniques for Daily Tasks. Mindfulness isn't something that's reserved for formal meditation sessions. It's a practice that can be woven into the fabric of your daily life. In fact, one of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is its versatility. You don't need to carve out extra time in your already busy schedule to reap its benefits. Instead, you can integrate it seamlessly into activities you're already doing every day. This chapter will explore how mindfulness can transform routine tasks into opportunities for presence, focus, and even joy. By applying these techniques consistently, you'll not only improve your productivity, but also cultivate a deeper sense of calm and fulfillment. Let's start by redefining what mindfulness really means in the context of daily life. At its core, mindfulness is about paying attention on purpose in the present moment and without judgment. It's about fully engaging with whatever you're doing rather than letting your mind wander off into the past or future. When you bring this quality of awareness to everyday activities, they become more meaningful and satisfying. Mundane chores like washing dishes or folding laundry can shift from being tedious obligations to moments of peace and connection. Even high-pressure work tasks can feel less overwhelming when approached with mindful intention. One of the simplest ways to practice mindfulness is through mindful breathing. While we've touched on breath-focused meditation earlier, mindful breathing doesn't require sitting still or closing your eyes. You can use your breath as an anchor throughout the day, no matter where you are or what you're doing. For example, if you're feeling stressed during a meeting, take a few slow, deep breaths. Feel the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and leaving your body. This subtle act of focusing on your breath helps ground you in the present moment, calming your nervous system and sharpening your focus. Over time, mindful breathing becomes second nature, a tool you can access anytime, anywhere. Another way to incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine is through mindful eating. How often do you eat lunch while scrolling through emails or dinner while watching TV? These habits might seem harmless, but they actually detract from your experience of food and can lead to overeating or digestive issues. Mindful eating invites you to savor each bite, noticing the colors, textures, flavors, and aromas of your meal. Before you begin eating, take a moment to express gratitude for the nourishment in front of you. As you chew, pay attention to the sensations in your mouth and the way your body feels as it receives fuel. Eating mindfully not only enhances your enjoyment of food, but also improves digestion and helps regulate portion sizes. Mindful walking is another accessible technique that combines movement with awareness. Whether you're commuting to work, taking a stroll during your lunch break, or simply walking from one room to another, you can turn these moments into mini meditations. Start by softening your gaze and tuning into the sensation of your feet touching the ground. Notice the rhythm of your steps, the lifting, moving and placing of each foot. If you're outdoors, observe the sights, sounds and smells around you. The rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the warmth of sunlight on your skin. Walking mindfully connects you to your surroundings and gives your brain a much-needed break from constant thinking. Speaking of breaks, incorporating short mindfulness exercises into your workday can significantly boost your productivity and well-being. Research shows that taking regular breaks improves concentration, creativity, and decision-making. However, many people spend their breaks scrolling through social media or checking their phones, which doesn't provide true rest. Instead, Try setting aside 5 minutes for a quick mindfulness exercise. Close your eyes, place your hands on your lap, and focus on your breath. Alternatively, stretch your arms overhead, roll your shoulders, and tune into the sensations in your body. These small acts of self-care recharge your energy and prepare you to tackle the next task with renewed clarity. Even routine office tasks like answering emails or attending meetings can benefit from mindfulness. When you sit down to respond to messages, resist the urge to rush through them. Take a moment to breathe deeply before opening your inbox. As you read each email, give it your full attention. Ask yourself, what is the sender trying to communicate? How can I respond thoughtfully and efficiently? By approaching emails mindfully, you reduce errors, enhance communication, and prevent burnout. During meetings, practice active listening, a form of mindfulness that involves fully focusing on the speaker without interrupting or planning your response. Maintain eye contact, nod occasionally to show engagement, and avoid multitasking. Yes, that means putting away your phone. Active listening not only fosters better collaboration, but also makes conversations more enjoyable and productive. After all, there's nothing more frustrating than speaking to someone who isn't truly present. Household chores offer another excellent opportunity to practice mindfulness. Activities like washing dishes, vacuuming, or organizing your workspace might seem mundane, but they can become meditative when approached with awareness. For instance, when washing dishes, notice the temperature of the water, the scent of the soap, and the texture of the plates. Feel the repetitive motion of scrubbing and rinsing, allowing it to soothe your mind. Similarly, when tidying up your desk, pay attention to the placement of each item. Decluttering your physical space often clears mental clutter as well, creating a fresh start for focused work. If you're someone who struggles with procrastination, mindfulness can help you overcome resistance and build momentum. Often we avoid tasks because they feel overwhelming or unappealing. Instead of forcing yourself to dive in, take a step back and examine your feelings. Are you anxious about failing, bored by the prospect of monotony? Once you identify the underlying emotion, acknowledge it without judgment, then commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. More often than not, starting is the hardest part, and once you begin, you'll find it easier to continue. Pair this approach with mindful breathing to stay grounded and motivated. For those who spend long hours at a computer, practicing digital mindfulness is essential. Technology has revolutionized the way we work, but it can also be a source of distraction and stress. To use technology mindfully, set boundaries around your screen time. For example, designate specific periods for checking emails or browsing social media, and stick to those limits. When using apps or websites, ask yourself, is this serving my goals? Am I fully present, or am I zoning out? Additionally, consider implementing tools like website blockers or focus timers to minimize interruptions. By becoming more intentional with your digital habits, you reclaim control over your attention and energy. Physical touch is another avenue for cultivating mindfulness. Throughout the day, notice the sensations of touch, the feeling of your fingers typing on a keyboard, the weight of a pen in your hand, or the warmth of a cup of tea. These seemingly insignificant details anchor you in the present moment and remind you of the richness of sensory experience. You can also practice mindful touch by giving yourself a gentle hand massage or rubbing your palms together to generate warmth. These gestures activate your parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and reducing stress. Now let's talk about integrating mindfulness into creative pursuits. Whether you're brainstorming ideas, writing reports, or designing presentations, mindfulness enhances your ability to think outside the box. Start by setting an intention for your creative session. What do you hope to achieve? Then, clear your mind by focusing on your breath for a minute or two. As you begin working, allow yourself to flow freely without self-criticism. If you hit a roadblock, pause and return to your breath. Remember, creativity thrives in spaciousness, so resist the temptation to force solutions. Trust that inspiration will arise naturally when you create the right conditions. Finally, mindfulness can deepen your relationships both personally and professionally. Many workplace conflicts stem from miscommunication or emotional reactivity. By practicing mindful communication, you can foster greater understanding and cooperation. Begin by listening attentively without interrupting or jumping to conclusions. Speak slowly and deliberately, choosing your words carefully. If emotions run high, take a few deep breaths before responding. This mindful approach diffuses tension and builds trust, paving the way for constructive dialogue. In addition to verbal communication, non-verbal cues play a crucial role in relationship dynamics. Pay attention to your body language. Are you making eye contact, smiling genuinely, leaning forward to show interest? These subtle signals convey empathy and respect, strengthening your connections with others. Similarly, observe the non-verbal behavior of those around you. Are they fidgeting nervously, avoiding eye contact? Adjust your responses accordingly to create a supportive atmosphere. As you experiment with these mindfulness techniques, keep in mind that consistency is key. Like any skill, mindfulness improves with practice. Start small. Choose 1 or 2 activities to focus on initially, such as mindful breathing or eating. Gradually expand your repertoire as you grow more comfortable. Be patient with yourself. It's normal to encounter challenges along the way. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. To summarize, mindfulness isn't confined to meditation cushions or retreat centers. It's a way of living that enriches every aspect of your day. By bringing awareness to everyday tasks, you transform ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. From mindful breathing and eating to walking, working, and relating to others, the possibilities are endless. These practices not only enhance your productivity but also nurture your overall well-being, helping you navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. As we move forward into the next chapters, we'll continue exploring practical strategies inspired by Buddhism and mindfulness to support your journey toward greater balance and fulfillment. Until then, remember that mindfulness is always available to you. It's simply a matter of choosing to engage with the present moment, one breath at a time. Chapter 5: Overcoming Procrastination Through Awareness. Procrastination is one of the most common challenges we face in both our personal and professional lives. It's that persistent habit of delaying tasks, even when we know they're important or urgent. Whether it's putting off a work project, avoiding household chores, or postponing fitness goals, procrastination can leave us feeling frustrated, guilty, and overwhelmed. But here's the good news. Mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles offer powerful tools to help us understand why we procrastinate and how to overcome it. In this chapter, we'll explore the root causes of procrastination, examine the role of awareness in breaking free from its grip, and provide practical strategies to transform your relationship with productivity. To begin, let's delve into what procrastination really is and why it happens. At its core, procrastination isn't about laziness or poor time management. It's often a response to deeper emotional triggers. When we avoid a task, it's usually because we associate it with discomfort, whether it's fear of failure, perfectionism, boredom, or overwhelm. For example, you might delay starting a report because you're worried it won't meet expectations, or put off cleaning your house because the sheer size of the task feels daunting. Procrastination acts as a temporary escape from these uncomfortable feelings, but it ultimately creates more stress and delays progress. One of the key insights mindfulness offers is the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. When we procrastinate, we often beat ourselves up for being unproductive, which only adds to the cycle of negativity. Instead, mindfulness invites us to approach procrastination with curiosity and compassion. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why does this task feel difficult? By investigating the underlying reasons for your resistance, you gain clarity and create space to address them effectively. Let's take a closer look at some of the common emotional drivers behind procrastination. Fear of failure. Many people procrastinate because they're afraid their efforts won't be good enough. This fear stems from perfectionism, the belief that anything less than flawless performance is unacceptable. Perfectionism sets unrealistic standards, making it harder to start or finish tasks. To overcome this, remind yourself that done is better than perfect. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Mindfulness helps by teaching you to focus on the process rather than the outcome, reducing anxiety about results. Overwhelm, big projects or complex tasks can feel paralyzing, especially if you don't know where to begin. The solution is to break them down into smaller, manageable steps. For instance, instead of thinking, I need to write an entire report, reframe it as, I'll outline the introduction. Each small win builds momentum and reduces the sense of overwhelm. Meditation supports this by training your mind to stay focused on one thing at a time, helping you tackle tasks methodically. Boredom. Some tasks are inherently tedious, making them easy to avoid. If this resonates with you, try pairing the boring activity with something enjoyable. For example, listen to calming music while organizing files, or reward yourself with a treat after completing a dull chore. Mindful breathing can also make monotonous tasks more bearable by keeping you anchored in the present moment. Lack of motivation. Sometimes we procrastinate because a task doesn't align with our values or interests. In such cases, reconnecting with your why can reignite motivation. Ask yourself, how does this task contribute to my larger goals? Who will benefit from my effort? Framing the work in terms of purpose makes it easier to commit. Buddhist teachings emphasize intentionality, approaching every action with a clear sense of purpose, which can inspire greater engagement. Now that we've identified some of the emotional roots of procrastination, let's discuss specific mindfulness techniques to combat it. One of the most effective strategies is the STOP method, which stands for stop, take a breath, observe, and proceed. Here's how it works. Stop. When you notice yourself procrastinating, pause whatever you're doing. Resist the urge to distract yourself further. Take a breath. Focus on your breath for a few moments. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a second, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple act calms your nervous system and brings you back to the present moment. Observe, pay attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment. What's causing your resistance? Are you anxious, tired, or simply uninspired? Observing your inner state helps you respond skillfully. Proceed. Once you've gained clarity, decide on the next step. It could be tackling the task head-on, breaking it into smaller pieces, or setting a timer for a short burst of focused effort. Another helpful technique is the Pomodoro method, combined with mindfulness. The Pomodoro method involves working in short, timed intervals, typically 25 minutes, followed by a brief break. During each interval, immerse yourself fully in the task at hand, using mindfulness to maintain concentration. When the timer goes off, take a mindful break, stretch, breathe deeply, or sip water. This rhythm prevents burnout and keeps your energy levels steady throughout the day. Mindfulness also teaches us to embrace imperfection and let go of rigid expectations. Often we procrastinate because we want everything to be just right before we begin. A Buddhist concept called wabi-sabi celebrates the beauty of imperfection and transience. Applying this mindset to your work means accepting that mistakes are part of the process and that growth comes from experimentation. Instead of striving for flawless execution, aim for consistent effort and improvement over time. For those who struggle with self-discipline, accountability can be a game changer. Share your goals with a trusted friend, colleague, or mentor, and check in regularly to track your progress. Knowing someone else is counting on you increases motivation and reduces the likelihood of procrastination. Alternatively, use digital tools like habit trackers or productivity apps to monitor your accomplishments. Celebrate small victories along the way. They reinforce positive behavior and build confidence. Visualization is another powerful tool rooted in mindfulness and Buddhist practice. Before beginning a task, spend a few moments imagining yourself completing it successfully. Picture the steps you'll take, the obstacles you'll overcome, and the satisfaction you'll feel when it's done. Visualization primes your brain for action and strengthens your commitment to follow through. Combine this with affirmations like, I am capable, I trust myself, or I welcome challenges as opportunities to grow. Sometimes procrastination arises from a lack of structure or unclear priorities. To address this, establish a daily routine that incorporates mindfulness practices. Start your morning with a few minutes of meditation or journaling to set intentions for the day. Break your workload into categories urgent, important, and optional, and allocate specific times for each. Use a planner or digital calendar to block out dedicated periods for focused work, breaks, and leisure activities. Having a clear plan reduces decision fatigue and minimizes distractions. If multitasking is contributing to your procrastination, consider adopting the principle of single tasking. Multitasking divides your attention and lowers efficiency, whereas focusing on one task at a time enhances quality and speed. Before starting, eliminate potential interruptions, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create a clutter-free workspace. As you work, bring your full attention to the task, noticing when your mind wanders and gently bringing it back. Treat each moment of focus as a gift to yourself. Self-compassion plays a critical role in overcoming procrastination. Beating yourself up for past delays only reinforces negative patterns. Instead, acknowledge your humanity and remind yourself that everyone struggles with procrastination at times. Practice loving-kindness meditation to cultivate kindness toward yourself and others. Repeat phrases like, may I be patient with myself, may I forgive my mistakes, and may I find strength in vulnerability. Self-compassion fosters resilience and encourages you to keep moving forward. Physical movement is another antidote to procrastination. Sitting for long periods can sap your energy and increase mental fatigue. Incorporate mindful movement into your day, whether it's stretching, yoga, or a brisk walk outside. Physical activity boosts circulation, releases endorphins, and clears mental fog, making it easier to return to work with renewed vigor. Pair this with mindful breathing to amplify the benefits. Finally, reflect on the impact of procrastination on your life. Think about the missed opportunities, strained relationships, or mounting stress caused by delayed action. Then envision the freedom and peace that come from completing tasks on time. This contrast highlights the importance of addressing procrastination head-on. Remember, change takes time and setbacks are inevitable. What matters most is your willingness to persist and learn from experience. To summarize, procrastination is a universal challenge, but it's not insurmountable. By cultivating awareness through mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles, you can uncover the emotional triggers behind your avoidance and develop healthier habits. Techniques like the stop method, Pomodoro intervals, visualization, and self-compassion empower you to take meaningful action, even in the face of discomfort. These practices not only enhance your productivity, but also foster a deeper sense of fulfillment and balance. As we continue exploring mindfulness and its applications in the upcoming chapters, carry these insights with you. They're reminders that every moment holds the potential for growth and that the journey toward greater productivity begins with presence and patience. Chapter 6. Cultivating focus in a distracted world. In today's hyper-connected world, distractions are everywhere. From endless notifications on our phones to the constant chatter of open office environments, maintaining focus has become one of the greatest challenges of modern life. Yet focus is not just a skill, it's a superpower. When you're able to concentrate deeply and sustain attention on your tasks, you unlock higher levels of productivity, creativity, and satisfaction. In this chapter, we'll explore how mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist teachings can help you cultivate unwavering focus, even amidst the noise and chaos of daily life. Let's begin by understanding why focus is so elusive in the first place. Our brains are wired to seek novelty. Evolutionarily speaking, this trait served us well. Our ancestors needed to be alert to changes in their environment to survive. However, in the modern world, this same mechanism makes it difficult to stay engaged with a single task for extended periods. Every email ping, social media update, or conversation nearby triggers a dopamine hit that pulls our attention away from what we're doing. Over time, this constant switching erodes our ability to concentrate and leaves us feeling scattered and unproductive. Mindfulness offers a powerful antidote to this fragmented state of mind. By training yourself to pay attention deliberately and fully, you can reclaim your focus and direct it where it matters most. One of the foundational practices for cultivating focus is mindful breathing. As we've discussed earlier, focusing on your breath anchors you in the present moment and calms the mental chatter that often leads to distraction. When you notice your mind wandering, which it inevitably will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This simple act of returning to the present moment strengthens your brain's capacity for sustained attention over time. Another key aspect of mindfulness is learning to observe distractions without judgment. Instead of labeling interruptions as bad or annoying, view them as opportunities to practice awareness. For example, if a colleague interrupts you while you're working, rather than reacting with frustration, take a deep breath and acknowledge the situation. Ask yourself, what is happening right now? How can I respond thoughtfully? This mindful approach diffuses tension and helps you refocus more quickly after the interruption. Meditation plays a crucial role in building focus by training your brain to resist distractions. During formal meditation sessions, you practice maintaining attention on a single object, whether it's your breath, a mantra, or a visualization. Each time your mind wanders, you gently guide it back to your focal point. This process strengthens the neural pathways associated with concentration, making it easier to stay focused in other areas of your life. Studies have shown that regular meditation increases gray matter density in regions of the brain responsible for attention and executive function, proving its tangible benefits for cognitive performance. Buddhist teachings also emphasize the importance of intentionality in fostering focus, the concept of right effort. One of the steps on the Eightfold Path encourages us to cultivate wholesome states of mind while abandoning unwholesome ones. Applied to focus, this means consciously directing your energy toward meaningful tasks and resisting the pull of distractions. Before starting any activity, set a clear intention for what you want to achieve. For instance, if you're about to write a report, remind yourself, my goal is to complete this section thoroughly and efficiently. This clarity of purpose primes your brain for action and reduces the likelihood of veering off track. Now let's dive into some practical strategies for sharpening your focus in everyday situations. One highly effective technique is the use of rituals to signal transitions between activities. Rituals create a sense of structure and predictability, helping your brain shift gears more smoothly. For example, before diving into a challenging project, take a few moments to organize your workspace, sip a cup of tea, or do a brief mindfulness exercise. These small acts prepare your mind for focused work and minimize resistance to getting started. Another strategy is implementing time blocking, a method of scheduling specific periods for different types of tasks. Assign blocks of time for focused work, meetings, breaks, and leisure activities, and stick to them as closely as possible. Use a timer to enforce boundaries. When the timer starts, commit fully to the task at hand. When it ends, allow yourself to move on to the next activity without guilt. Time blocking minimizes decision fatigue and ensures that you allocate adequate attention to each priority. If multitasking is undermining your focus, consider adopting the principle of single tasking. Multitasking divides your attention and lowers efficiency, whereas focusing on one task at a time enhances quality and speed. To implement single tasking, eliminate potential interruptions, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create a clutter-free workspace. As you work, bring your full attention to the task, noticing when your mind wanders and gently bringing it back. Treat each moment of focus as a gift to yourself. Mindful listening is another powerful tool for enhancing focus, particularly in interpersonal interactions. Many of us struggle to maintain attention during conversations because our minds are preoccupied with formulating responses or thinking about other things. Mindful listening involves giving your undivided attention to the speaker, tuning into their words, tone, and body language. Resist the urge to interrupt or plan your reply. Instead, listen with curiosity and empathy, allowing the conversation to unfold naturally. This practice not only improves communication but also builds trust and rapport. For those who spend long hours at a computer, practicing digital mindfulness is essential. Technology has revolutionized the way we work, but it can also be a major source of distraction. To use technology mindfully, set boundaries around your screen time. For example, designate specific periods for checking emails or browsing social media and stick to those limits. When using apps or websites, ask yourself, is this serving my goals? Am I fully present or am I zoning out? Additionally, consider implementing tools like website blockers or focus timers to minimize interruptions. By becoming more intentional with your digital habits, you reclaim control over your attention and energy. Physical movement is another powerful ally in the quest for focus. Sitting for prolonged periods can lead to physical discomfort and mental fatigue, both of which impair concentration. Incorporate mindful movement into your day, whether it's stretching, yoga, or a brisk walk outside. Physical activity boosts circulation, releases endorphins, and clears mental fog, making it easier to return to work with renewed vigor. Pair this with mindful breathing to amplify the benefits. Visualization is yet another technique rooted in mindfulness and Buddhist practice that can enhance your focus. Before beginning a task, spend a few moments imagining yourself completing it successfully. Picture the steps you'll take, the obstacles you'll overcome, and the satisfaction you'll feel when it's done. Visualization primes your brain for action and strengthens your commitment to follow through. Combine this with affirmations like, I am focused, I am capable, or I welcome challenges as opportunities to grow. Self-compassion also plays a vital role in sustaining focus. Beating yourself up for lapses in concentration only reinforces negative patterns. Instead, acknowledge your humanity and remind yourself that everyone struggles with distractions at times. Practice loving-kindness meditation to cultivate kindness toward yourself and others. Repeat phrases like, may I be patient with myself, may I forgive my mistakes, and may I find strength in vulnerability. Self-compassion fosters resilience and encourages you to keep moving forward. Finally, reflect on the impact of focus on your overall well-being. Deep, sustained attention not only improves your productivity, but also enriches your experience of life. When you're fully present, even mundane tasks take on new meaning and joy. You connect more deeply with others, savor the beauty of the moment, and live with greater intention. This heightened awareness is a hallmark of mindfulness and a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. To summarize, cultivating focus in a distracted world requires a combination of mindfulness, discipline, and self-awareness. By practicing techniques like mindful breathing, meditation, time blocking, and visualization, you can train your brain to resist distractions and stay engaged with your priorities. These practices not only enhance your productivity but also foster a deeper sense of fulfillment and balance. As we continue exploring mindfulness and its applications in the upcoming chapters, carry these insights with you. They're reminders that focus is not just a skill, it's a way of being. With patience and persistence, you can transform your relationship with attention and unlock your full potential. Chapter 7: Reducing Workplace Conflict Through Compassion. Conflict is an inevitable part of human interaction, and the workplace is no exception. Whether it's a disagreement with a colleague, tension with a supervisor, or friction within a team, conflict can arise from differences in opinions, values, communication styles, or expectations. While some level of conflict is natural and even healthy, it can quickly escalate into stress, resentment, and decreased productivity if not managed effectively. In this chapter, we'll explore how mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles can help you navigate workplace conflict with compassion, clarity, and grace. By cultivating a mindset of empathy and understanding, you can transform challenging interactions into opportunities for growth, connection, and collaboration. Let's start by acknowledging that conflict itself isn't inherently bad. In fact, when handled constructively, it can lead to innovation, stronger relationships, and better decision-making. The problem arises when we approach conflict reactively, allowing emotions like anger, frustration, or defensiveness to dictate our responses. This reactive mode often stems from our brain's fight-or-flight response, which kicks in when we perceive a threat. In the context of workplace conflict, this threat might be a critical comment, a missed deadline, or a difference in priorities. However, reacting impulsively rarely resolves the issue. Instead, it tends to escalate tensions and damage trust. Mindfulness offers a powerful alternative, responding thoughtfully rather than reacting instinctively. When you're mindful, you create a space between stimulus and response, a gap where you can pause, breathe, and choose how to proceed. This pause allows you to observe your thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. For example, if a coworker criticizes your work, instead of immediately defending yourself or shutting down, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why does this situation trigger me? By investigating your emotional response, you gain insight into its origins and can address it skillfully. One of the core teachings of Buddhism that aligns beautifully with conflict resolution is compassion. Compassion involves recognizing the suffering of others and ourselves and responding with kindness and understanding. In the workplace, compassion means seeing beyond surface-level behaviors to understand the underlying needs, fears, or insecurities driving someone's actions. For instance, if a colleague seems overly critical, they might be under pressure from their own manager or struggling with personal challenges outside of work. Approaching the situation with compassion rather than judgment fosters empathy and opens the door to constructive dialogue. Practicing self-compassion is equally important. Many of us are quick to blame ourselves during conflicts, replaying interactions in our minds and berating ourselves for perceived mistakes. Self-compassion invites us to treat ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a friend. Instead of spiraling into self-criticism, remind yourself, I'm human, and humans make mistakes. What can I learn from this experience? This mindset shift reduces shame and empowers you to move forward with greater resilience. Now, let's delve into specific strategies for reducing workplace conflict through mindfulness and compassion. One of the most effective techniques is active listening, a cornerstone of mindful communication. Active listening involves giving your full attention to the speaker without interrupting, judging, or planning your response. Maintain eye contact, nod occasionally to show engagement, and reflect back what you've heard to ensure understanding. For example, you might say, "It sounds like you're concerned about meeting the deadline, is that correct?" This demonstrates respect and validates the other person's perspective, creating a foundation for mutual trust. Another key strategy is using I statements instead of you statements when addressing conflicts. You statements often come across as accusatory and can put the other person on the defensive. For example, saying, "You never listen to my ideas," is likely to provoke resistance. In contrast, an I statement like, "I feel unheard when my ideas aren't acknowledged," expresses your feelings without assigning blame. This approach encourages open dialogue and reduces the likelihood of escalating tensions. Mindful breathing is another invaluable tool for managing workplace conflict. When emotions run high, taking a few slow, deliberate breaths can calm your nervous system and restore clarity. Before responding to a challenging situation, pause and focus on your inhales and exhales. Feel the air entering and leaving your body, allowing each breath to anchor you in the present moment. This simple act helps you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. In addition to individual practices, fostering a culture of mindfulness and compassion within teams can significantly reduce conflict. Encourage team members to practice active listening, express gratitude regularly, and celebrate diverse perspectives. Create opportunities for team-building activities that emphasize collaboration over competition. For example, host a weekly check-in where everyone shares one thing they're proud of and one challenge they're facing. These practices strengthen bonds and build a sense of shared purpose, making it easier to navigate disagreements constructively. Buddhist teachings also highlight the importance of equanimity, the ability to remain calm and balanced in the face of adversity. Equanimity doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. Rather, it means acknowledging them without letting them control you. For instance, if a colleague raises their voice during a meeting, instead of matching their intensity, take a deep breath and maintain your composure. Your calm demeanor can de-escalate the situation and set a positive tone for resolving the issue. Another powerful concept from Buddhism is interdependence, the recognition that all beings are interconnected. In the workplace, this means understanding how your actions affect others and vice versa. When you view your colleagues as collaborators rather than competitors, you're more likely to approach conflicts with a spirit of cooperation. Ask yourself, how can we find a solution that benefits everyone involved? This mindset shift promotes win-win outcomes and strengthens team cohesion. For those in leadership roles, modeling compassionate behavior sets the tone for the entire organization. Leaders who prioritize empathy, transparency, and fairness inspire trust and loyalty among their teams. Practice giving feedback in a way that's constructive and supportive, focusing on specific behaviors rather than personal traits. For example, instead of saying, "You're disorganized," try, "I've noticed some challenges with meeting deadlines. How can I support you in staying on track?" This approach motivates improvement without undermining confidence. If a conflict escalates despite your best efforts, consider seeking mediation or involving a neutral third party to facilitate the conversation. A mediator can help both parties articulate their perspectives, identify common ground, and develop actionable solutions. During mediation sessions, mindfulness plays a crucial role in maintaining focus and preventing emotional outbursts. Encourage all participants to take breaks as needed and return to the discussion with renewed clarity. Another technique for resolving workplace conflict is reframing the narrative. Often we interpret situations through a lens of negativity, assuming malicious intent or incompetence on the part of others. Mindfulness teaches us to question these assumptions and look for alternative explanations. For example, if a teammate misses a deadline, instead of assuming they're lazy or indifferent, consider external factors like workload or unforeseen obstacles. Reframing the story in a more generous light reduces hostility and fosters goodwill. Nonviolent communication, NVC, developed by Marshall Rosenberg, is another framework rooted in mindfulness and compassion that can be highly effective in conflict resolution. NVC emphasizes expressing observations, feelings, needs, and requests clearly and respectfully. For instance, instead of saying, "You ruined the project," try, "When I saw the final report, I felt disappointed because I value thoroughness. Could we discuss ways to improve next time?" This structured approach minimizes defensiveness and promotes collaborative problem solving. Finally, remember that conflict resolution isn't just about fixing problems, it's about building stronger relationships. After resolving a disagreement, take time to reconnect with the other person, express appreciation for their willingness to engage in dialogue, and reaffirm your commitment to working together harmoniously. Small gestures like sharing a smile, offering words of encouragement, or collaborating on a new project can repair damaged trust and lay the groundwork for future success. To summarize, reducing workplace conflict through compassion begins with cultivating awareness, empathy, and patience. By practicing mindfulness techniques like active listening, mindful breathing, and reframing narratives, you can transform tense interactions into opportunities for growth and connection. Drawing on Buddhist principles such as compassion, equanimity, and interdependence further enriches your ability to navigate challenges with wisdom and grace. These practices not only enhance your professional relationships, but also contribute to a more harmonious and productive work environment. As we continue exploring mindfulness and its applications in the upcoming chapters, carry these insights with you. They're reminders that conflict, when approached mindfully, can be a catalyst for deeper understanding and meaningful change. Chapter 8. Creating a sacred space for reflection. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, finding moments of stillness and reflection can feel like an impossible task. Yet, carving out a dedicated space for mindfulness and meditation is one of the most transformative steps you can take toward improving your productivity, well-being, and overall quality of life. In this chapter, we'll explore the concept of creating a sacred space, a physical and energetic environment that supports your practice of mindfulness, meditation, and self-reflection. This space doesn't have to be elaborate or expensive. It simply needs to be intentional and meaningful. By designing a sanctuary that resonates with you, you'll cultivate a deeper connection to yourself and create a foundation for sustained growth and peace. Let's start by defining what a sacred space truly is. At its essence, a sacred space is any area where you feel safe, calm, and inspired to turn inward. It's a place free from distractions, clutter, and external pressures, a refuge where you can unplug from the noise of the outside world and reconnect with your inner self. While some people envision a serene garden or a quiet corner of their home when they hear the term sacred space, it's important to note that this space can exist anywhere, even in the smallest nook of a shared apartment or a temporary setup at work. What matters most is the intention behind it and how it makes you feel. One of the key benefits of having a sacred space is that it helps anchor your mindfulness and meditation practices. When you consistently return to the same location for reflection, your brain begins to associate that space with feelings of calm and focus. Over time, simply stepping into your sacred space can trigger a relaxation response, making it easier to settle into your practice. This consistency also reinforces discipline, encouraging you to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being on a regular basis. Now let's discuss how to create a sacred space that reflects your unique personality and needs. The first step is choosing a location. Ideally, this should be a spot where you won't be disturbed, whether it's a spare room, a cozy corner of your living room, or even a quiet outdoor area. If privacy is limited, consider using noise-cancelling headphones or playing soft background music to drown out distractions. The size of the space isn't as important as its functionality. Even a small mat or cushion in a secluded part of your home can serve as a powerful anchor for your practice. Once you've selected a location, think about how you want to design and decorate your sacred space. The goal is to create an atmosphere that feels inviting, peaceful, and aligned with your intentions. Start by decluttering the area. Remove anything unnecessary or distracting. A clean, organized space promotes clarity and focus, setting the stage for deep reflection. Next, consider incorporating elements that evoke tranquility and inspiration. Here are some ideas. Natural elements. Adding plants, flowers, or stones can infuse your space with vitality and grounding energy. Nature has a calming effect on the mind, so incorporating these elements can enhance your sense of connection to the earth. Lighting. Soft, warm lighting creates a soothing ambience. Use candles, fairy lights, or a dimmable lamp to adjust the brightness according to your mood. Natural light is also ideal if your space allows for it. Comfort items. Ensure that your seating arrangement is comfortable, whether it's a meditation cushion, yoga mat, or cozy chair. You might also add blankets or pillows for extra coziness. Personal touches. Include items that hold special meaning for you, such as photographs, artwork, or mementos. These objects can serve as reminders of gratitude, joy, or inspiration. Aromatherapy. Scents like lavender, sandalwood, or eucalyptus can promote relaxation and deepen your meditative state. Consider using essential oils, incense, or scented candles to enhance the sensory experience. Another important aspect of designing a sacred space is minimizing digital distractions. Technology has become so ingrained in our daily lives that it can be tempting to bring devices into your reflective environment. However, screens often pull us out of the present moment and disrupt our ability to focus. To maintain the sanctity of your space, establish clear boundaries around technology use. Turn off notifications, silence your phone, or leave it in another room altogether. If you need a timer for meditation, opt for a simple analog clock or hourglass instead. In addition to physical elements, consider the energetic qualities of your sacred space. Energy flows through everything, including the spaces we inhabit. To cultivate positive energy, incorporate rituals that align with your intentions. For example, you might smudge the area with sage or Palo Santo to cleanse it of stagnant or negative vibes. Alternatively, play gentle instrumental music or chanting tracks to elevate the vibrational frequency of the space. Some people find it helpful to set up an altar, a focal point where they place meaningful objects like crystals, statues, or affirmation cards. An altar serves as a visual reminder of your goals and aspirations, grounding your practice in purpose. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of intentionality when creating sacred spaces. Before using your space for the first time, take a moment to consecrate it with a personal ritual. Light a candle, recite a mantra, or offer a silent prayer expressing your gratitude and dedication to your practice. This act of consecration imbues the space with sacredness and reinforces your commitment to mindfulness and meditation. Now, let's talk about how to use your sacred space effectively. Consistency is key. It's better to spend 5 minutes each day in your space than to wait for hours-long sessions that rarely happen. Begin by establishing a routine. Choose a specific time of day that works best for you, whether it's early morning before the world wakes up, during lunch breaks, or in the evening as a way to unwind. Over time, this habit will become second nature, and your body and mind will naturally gravitate toward the space whenever you need a reset. Within your sacred space, you can engage in a variety of practices beyond traditional meditation. Journaling, for instance, is a powerful tool for self-reflection. Sit quietly and write down your thoughts, feelings, or insights without judgment. This process helps clarify your mind and release pent-up emotions. Gratitude journaling, in which you list 3 things you're thankful for each day, is particularly effective for cultivating positivity and resilience. Guided meditations and affirmations are other excellent ways to deepen your connection to your sacred space. Apps like Insight Timer, Calm, or Headspace offer a wide range of recordings tailored to various themes, from stress relief to creativity enhancement. Listening to a soothing voice guide you through visualization exercises or loving-kindness meditations can make the experience more immersive and enjoyable. If you're short on time, try incorporating micro-meditations into your routine. These brief moments of stillness can be practiced anywhere, but are especially potent within your sacred space. Close your eyes, take 10 slow breaths, and focus on releasing tension with each exhale. Even just a few minutes of mindful breathing can recharge your energy and sharpen your focus. For those who enjoy movement-based practices, consider integrating yoga or Tai Chi into your sacred space routine. Both disciplines combine physical postures with mindful awareness, promoting flexibility, strength, and inner peace. Practicing these exercises in a tranquil environment amplifies their benefits, allowing you to fully immerse yourself in the flow of movement. Finally, remember that your sacred space is not static, it evolves alongside you. As your needs and preferences change, feel free to adapt the space accordingly. Perhaps you'll swap out decor, rearrange furniture, or introduce new rituals. The beauty of a sacred space lies in its fluidity and responsiveness to your journey. Treat it as a living extension of yourself, always open to transformation and renewal. To summarize, creating a sacred space for reflection is a profound act of self-care that supports your mindfulness and meditation practices. By intentionally designing a peaceful environment, you give yourself permission to pause, breathe, and reconnect with what truly matters. Whether you're seeking solace after a stressful day, clarity amidst uncertainty, or inspiration for creative endeavors, your sacred space becomes a haven where you can nurture your spirit and cultivate resilience. As we continue exploring mindfulness and its applications in the upcoming chapters, carry the lessons of this chapter with you. They're reminders that even in the busiest moments, You deserve a sanctuary, a place where you can return to your center, embrace the present, and honor the beauty of being alive. Chapter 9: Balancing Ambition with Contentment. Ambition and contentment are two powerful forces that shape our lives, yet they often seem to be at odds with one another. On one hand, ambition drives us to achieve goals, push boundaries, and strive for excellence. It fuels innovation, progress, and personal growth. On the other hand, contentment invites us to appreciate what we already have, find joy in the present moment, and embrace life as it unfolds. While these qualities may appear contradictory, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. In fact, integrating ambition and contentment creates a balanced approach to life, one that honors both achievement and gratitude. In this chapter, we'll explore how mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist teachings can help you harmonize these seemingly opposing forces, enabling you to pursue your dreams while cultivating inner peace. Let's begin by examining the role of ambition in modern society. Ambition is often celebrated as a hallmark of success. From an early age, many of us are taught to set lofty goals, work hard, and measure our worth by external achievements like promotion, accolades, or material possessions. There's nothing inherently wrong with striving for greatness. Ambition can inspire us to reach new heights and make meaningful contributions to the world. However, when left unchecked, ambition can also lead to stress, burnout, and dissatisfaction. The relentless pursuit of more often leaves us feeling perpetually unfulfilled, as if no accomplishment will ever be enough. Buddhism offers profound insights into the nature of ambition and its impact on our well-being. One of the core teachings is impermanence, the idea that everything changes, including our successes and failures. This perspective challenges us to reconsider how we define success. If all things are temporary, clinging to achievements or obsessing over future milestones becomes futile. Instead, Buddhism encourages us to focus on the journey itself rather than the destination. By embracing impermanence, we learn to let go of attachment to outcomes and find fulfillment in the process of growth and learning. Contentment, on the other hand, is about appreciating what we already have and finding happiness within ourselves. It doesn't mean settling for mediocrity or abandoning our aspirations. Rather, it's about recognizing that true satisfaction comes from within, not from external validation. A common misconception is that contentment leads to complacency, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Contentment empowers us to pursue our goals with greater clarity and purpose because we're no longer driven by fear, insecurity, or the need to prove ourselves. We act out of passion and authenticity rather than desperation or comparison. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in balancing ambition and contentment. Through mindfulness, we develop awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and motivations, allowing us to discern whether our actions stem from genuine desire or societal conditioning. For example, if you're working tirelessly toward a promotion, ask yourself, why do I want this? Will it truly bring me lasting happiness? Mindfulness helps you pause and reflect before rushing forward, ensuring that your ambitions align with your deeper values and priorities. Meditation complements mindfulness by fostering equanimity, a state of calmness and balance regardless of circumstances. When practiced regularly, meditation teaches us to observe our desires without becoming consumed by them. Imagine sitting quietly with your breath, noticing the pull of ambition rising and falling like waves in the ocean. You acknowledge its presence without judgment, understanding that it's just one part of your experience. This non-attachment allows you to channel your ambition constructively, using it as fuel for positive action without letting it dominate your life. Now let's delve into practical strategies for balancing ambition and contentment. One of the most effective approaches is setting intentions rooted in purpose rather than ego. Before embarking on a new goal, take time to clarify your why. Ask yourself, what kind of impact do I want to create? How does this goal contribute to my overall mission and values? Framing your ambitions in terms of service, whether to yourself, others, or the planet, transforms them from selfish pursuits into meaningful endeavors. This shift reduces anxiety about outcomes and deepens your sense of fulfillment along the way. Gratitude practices are another powerful tool for cultivating contentment while maintaining ambition. Each day, dedicate a few moments to reflecting on what you're thankful for. This could include anything from supportive colleagues and loved ones to small pleasures like a warm cup of coffee or a beautiful sunset. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, helping you recognize the richness of your current reality. Even during challenging times, practicing gratitude reminds you of the blessings already present in your life, reducing the urge to chase after fleeting validations. Visualization techniques can also bridge the gap between ambition and contentment. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself achieving your goals, not just the end result, but the journey itself. Picture the steps you'll take, the obstacles you'll overcome, and the lessons you'll learn along the way. Visualization primes your brain for action and strengthens your commitment to follow through. To enhance this practice, combine it with affirmations like, "I am capable," "I trust the process," or "I welcome challenges as opportunities to grow." These statements reinforce confidence and resilience, enabling you to pursue your ambitions with greater ease and grace. Self-compassion is another cornerstone of balancing ambition and contentment. Many high achievers struggle with perfectionism, believing that anything less than flawless performance is unacceptable. This mindset not only increases stress but also stifles creativity and innovation. Practicing self-compassion involves treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially during setbacks or failures. Repeat phrases like, "May I be patient with myself," "May I forgive my mistakes," and "May I find strength in vulnerability." Self-compassion fosters resilience and encourages you to keep moving forward without losing sight of your humanity. For those who feel torn between competing priorities, consider adopting the concept of right livelihood from Buddhist teachings. Right livelihood emphasizes choosing work that aligns with ethical principles and contributes positively to society. Reflect on whether your career or projects uplift others, promote sustainability, or foster well-being. Aligning your ambitions with your higher purpose ensures that your efforts resonate deeply and sustainably, enhancing both your productivity and satisfaction. In addition to individual practices, creating healthy boundaries around work and rest is essential for maintaining balance. Ambition often tempts us to overextend ourselves, sacrificing sleep, relationships, and leisure in favor of productivity. However, neglecting self-care ultimately undermines long-term success. Set clear limits on your work hours, prioritize restorative activities like exercise and hobbies, and carve out quality time for loved ones. Remember, rest isn't laziness. It's an investment in your ability to perform at your best. Mindful goal setting is another strategy for harmonizing ambition and contentment. Instead of fixating on distant objectives, break them down into smaller, manageable milestones. Celebrate each step forward, acknowledging the effort and progress involved. This incremental approach prevents overwhelm and keeps you motivated throughout the journey. Pair this with regular reflection sessions to assess your alignment with your values and adjust course as needed. Finally, draw inspiration from the Buddhist principle of middle way, which advocates avoiding extremes and finding harmony between opposing forces. Applied to ambition and contentment, the middle way encourages us to pursue our goals with passion and determination while remaining grounded in gratitude and acceptance. It's about striking a balance where neither ambition nor contentment overshadows the other. This equilibrium allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with wisdom and grace. To summarize, balancing ambition with contentment requires conscious effort and self-awareness. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and gratitude, and drawing on Buddhist teachings like impermanence, equanimity, and the middle way, you can integrate these complementary forces into a cohesive whole. Ambition provides direction and motivation, while contentment anchors you in the present moment and fosters lasting happiness. Together they form a dynamic duo that supports your growth, creativity, and well-being. As we continue exploring mindfulness and its applications in the upcoming chapters, carry these insights with you. They're reminders that success isn't just about reaching the top, it's about savoring every step of the climb and finding joy in the view along the way. Chapter 10: Building a Sustainable Routine. Building a sustainable routine is one of the most powerful ways to integrate mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles into your daily life. A well-designed routine not only supports consistency, but also creates a structure that nurtures your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. However, building such a routine requires more than just good intentions. It demands thoughtful planning, flexibility, and an understanding of what truly works for you. In this chapter, we'll explore how to design a routine that aligns with your goals, adapts to your unique circumstances, and evolves as you grow. By committing to small, intentional actions every day, you can transform fleeting habits into lifelong practices. Let's begin by acknowledging why routines are so important. Humans thrive on predictability. Our brains are wired to seek patterns and rhythms because they provide a sense of stability and control. Without a clear routine, it's easy to fall into reactive mode, allowing external demands and distractions to dictate how we spend our time. This lack of structure often leads to stress, procrastination, and burnout. On the other hand, having a thoughtfully crafted routine empowers you to take ownership of your day, prioritize what matters most, and create space for mindfulness and self-care. One of the first steps in building a sustainable routine is identifying your core priorities. What aspects of your life bring you joy, fulfillment, and meaning? These could include work, relationships, health, personal growth, or creative pursuits. Once you've clarified your priorities, design your routine around them. For example, if mental clarity is a priority, carve out time each morning for meditation or journaling. If physical fitness is important, schedule regular exercise sessions throughout the week. Aligning your routine with your values ensures that your actions reflect what truly matters to you. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in creating and maintaining a sustainable routine. When you approach your daily activities with awareness, you become more attuned to what energizes and depletes you. Pay attention to how different tasks make you feel. Are there certain activities that leave you drained or anxious? Conversely, which ones replenish your energy and spark joy? Use this information to refine your routine, eliminating unnecessary obligations and making room for activities that nourish your mind and body. Meditation serves as the foundation of a mindful routine. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can have profound effects on your focus, resilience, and overall well-being. Start by setting aside a specific time for meditation, whether it's first thing in the morning, during a lunch break, or before bed. Consistency is key. Meditating at the same time every day helps establish a habit and reinforces its benefits over time. As you deepen your practice, experiment with different techniques like breath-focused meditation, loving-kindness meditation, or guided visualizations to keep your routine fresh and engaging. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of intentionality in shaping your daily rhythm. The concept of right effort, one of the steps on the Eightfold Path, encourages us to cultivate wholesome states of mind while abandoning unwholesome ones. Applied to routines, this means consciously directing your energy toward meaningful activities and resisting the pull of distractions. Before starting any task, set a clear intention for what you want to achieve. For instance, if you're about to write a report, remind yourself, my goal is to communicate clearly and efficiently. This clarity of purpose primes your brain for action and reduces the likelihood of veering off track. Now let's delve into practical strategies for designing a sustainable routine. One highly effective technique is the use of rituals to signal transitions between activities. Rituals create a sense of structure and predictability, helping your brain shift gears more smoothly. For example, begin your day with a calming morning ritual, perhaps stretching, sipping tea, or practicing gratitude. Similarly, wind down in the evening with a relaxing bedtime routine such as reading, journaling, or listening to soothing music. These small acts prepare your mind and body for focused work or restful sleep, reducing resistance to getting started. Another strategy is implementing time blocking. a method of scheduling specific periods for different types of tasks. Assign blocks of time for focused work, meetings, breaks, and leisure activities, and stick to them as closely as possible. Use a planner or digital calendar to block out dedicated periods for mindfulness practices, ensuring they remain non-negotiable parts of your day. Time blocking minimizes decision fatigue and ensures that you allocate adequate attention to each priority. If multitasking undermines your productivity, consider adopting the principle of single tasking. Multitasking divides your attention and lowers efficiency, whereas focusing on one task at a time enhances quality and speed. To implement single tasking, eliminate potential interruptions, turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create a clutter-free workspace. As you work, bring your full attention to the task, noticing when your mind wanders and gently bringing it back. Treat each moment of focus as a gift to yourself. Incorporating movement into your routine is another essential element of sustainability. Physical activity boosts circulation, releases endorphins, and clears mental fog, making it easier to stay energized and focused throughout the day. Whether it's yoga, walking, or a quick stretch session, find ways to move your body regularly. Pair this with mindful breathing to amplify the benefits. For example, during a mid-afternoon slump, take 5 minutes to do gentle stretches while focusing on your inhales and exhales. This simple act recharges your energy and restores clarity. Self-compassion also plays a vital role in sustaining a routine. Beating yourself up for missed sessions or lapses in discipline only reinforces negative patterns. Instead, acknowledge your humanity and remind yourself that everyone struggles with consistency at times. Practice loving-kindness meditation to cultivate kindness toward yourself and others. Repeat phrases like, "May I be patient with myself," "May I forgive my mistakes," and "May I find strength in vulnerability." Self-compassion fosters resilience and encourages you to keep moving forward. To ensure your routine remains adaptable, periodically review and adjust it based on changing needs and circumstances. Life is unpredictable and rigid schedules can quickly become unsustainable. Instead of striving for perfection, aim for flexibility. For example, if unexpected events disrupt your usual meditation time, find a new slot later in the day. Or if a particular practice no longer resonates with you, replace it with something that feels more aligned with your current goals. Remember, the purpose of a routine is to support your well-being, not constrain it. Accountability can also strengthen your commitment to a sustainable routine. Share your goals with a trusted friend, colleague, or mentor, and check in regularly to track your progress. Knowing someone else is counting on you increases motivation and reduces the likelihood of falling off track. Alternatively, use digital tools like habit trackers or productivity apps to monitor your accomplishments. Celebrate small victories along the way. They reinforce positive behavior and build confidence. Visualization is yet another technique rooted in mindfulness and Buddhist practice that can enhance your ability to stick to a routine. Before beginning a new habit, spend a few moments imagining yourself completing it successfully. Picture the steps you'll take, the obstacles you'll overcome, and the satisfaction you'll feel when it becomes second nature. Visualization primes your brain for action and strengthens your commitment to follow through. Combine this with affirmations like, "I am consistent," "I trust the process," or "I welcome challenges as opportunities to grow." For those who struggle with motivation, consider pairing new habits with existing ones, a strategy known as habit stacking. For example, if you already brush your teeth every morning, use that trigger to remind yourself to meditate immediately afterward. Over time, the association between the two activities solidifies the new habit. Similarly, if you always drink coffee in the afternoon, pair it with a brief mindfulness exercise, such as focusing on the aroma and taste of the beverage. Finally, reflect on the impact of your routine on your overall well-being. A sustainable routine isn't just about ticking boxes or adhering to a strict schedule. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your highest self. Notice how incorporating mindfulness and meditation into your day enhances your mood, relationships, and productivity. Observe how aligning your actions with your values brings a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. These reflections reinforce the importance of maintaining your routine and inspire you to continue growing. To summarize, building a sustainable routine is a dynamic process that requires intention, adaptability, and self-awareness. By prioritizing mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist principles, you can design a rhythm that honors your goals, respects your limits, and evolves alongside you. Whether you're starting with small changes or revamping your entire schedule, remember that consistency, not perfection, is the key to success. As we conclude this exploration of mindfulness and its applications, carry these insights with you. They're reminders that transformation begins with tiny, deliberate steps, and that every moment holds the potential for growth and discovery. And so, we arrive at the end of this journey, a journey into mindfulness, meditation, and the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. If you've made it this far, I want to take a moment to thank you for investing your time and energy in exploring these ideas with me. Together, we've covered a lot of ground: understanding stress, cultivating focus, overcoming procrastination, resolving conflict, creating sacred spaces, balancing ambition with contentment, and building sustainable routines. Each chapter has offered tools and insights designed to help you navigate the complexities of modern life with greater clarity, compassion, and resilience. But let's be honest, this isn't just about acquiring knowledge or learning techniques, it's about transformation. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds gradually, one mindful step at a time. The practices we've discussed are seeds, and it's up to you to plant them in the soil of your daily life. Some days, they'll flourish effortlessly. Other days, you might struggle to find the right conditions for growth, and that's okay. What matters most is your willingness to keep showing up, even when progress feels slow or uncertain. One of the most beautiful aspects of mindfulness and meditation is that they teach us to embrace imperfection. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of challenges. Yet within that chaos lies an opportunity to pause, breathe, and reconnect with what truly matters. Whether it's a single deep breath during a hectic workday or a few moments of stillness in your sacred space, every act of presence contributes to a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. I also want to remind you that mindfulness isn't something you achieve or master. It's a lifelong practice, an ongoing conversation with yourself and the world around you. There will be days when distractions pull you away, emotions overwhelm you, or doubts creep in. And that's part of the process. The beauty of mindfulness is that it meets you exactly where you are, without judgment or expectation. All it asks is that you return to the present moment, again and again, with kindness and curiosity. As you move forward, I encourage you to carry these principles with you, not as rigid rules, but as guiding lights. Use them to anchor yourself when life feels overwhelming, to celebrate your victories, and to learn from your setbacks. Remember, productivity isn't about doing more, it's about being intentional with your time and energy. Well-being isn't about avoiding discomfort, it's about finding strength and grace in the face of adversity. And success isn't about external achievements, it's about living authentically and contributing positively to the world. Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a simple invitation. Take one small step today. Maybe it's setting aside 5 minutes to meditate, practicing gratitude before bed, or simply paying closer attention to your breath. Whatever it is, trust that even the tiniest action can ripple outward, creating waves of change in your life and beyond. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to share it with someone who might benefit from its message. You never know how a single idea or a single moment of connection can inspire someone else to embark on their own journeys of growth. And if you're new to the Mindful Zone, consider subscribing for more content like this. My hope is that this channel continues to serve as a resource for anyone seeking practical ways to live mindfully, and meaningfully. Finally, I want to express my deepest gratitude for being part of this community. Your presence here, your openness, curiosity, and commitment to self-improvement is what makes this work so meaningful. As we part ways for now, know that you're not alone on this path. We're all navigating the same human experience, each in our own unique way. So let's continue to support one another, share our stories, and grow together. Until next time, take care of yourself, and remember, the power to transform your life lies within you. Trust the process, stay curious, and above all, be kind to yourself. This is your name. Signing off from the Mindful Zone. May your journey be filled with light, love, and endless possibilities. Namaste.